So hi guys, mayong adlaw. Welcome to NatzMath TV. So in this video, I will be discussing with you about simplifying rational algebraic expressions. This topic requires us to have a prior knowledge on the laws of exponents and factoring. So we will start the discussion after this intro. So how do we simplify a rational algebraic expression? So when we simplify a rational algebraic expression, again, we should know how to factor out and we should know about the different laws of exponents. So let's proceed directly to our example. So example number 1, we are given 6x squared y 12x y squared. So what we do here is just simply use prime factorization. So when we use prime factorization in the numerator, we have 6x squared y. So we can factor out this monomial by writing 3 times 2 times x times y. So that means 3 times 2 is 6 and x times x is x squared and we have here the y. So we use 3 and 2 because these are prime numbers. So 3 and 2 are prime numbers. So of course with the denominator we have 12xy squared. So we can write 12xy squared by writing 3 times 2 times 2 times x times y. That means 3 times 2 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. Then we have the x and we have y times y. Then this time, we cancel out common factors in the numerator and denominator. So in this case, we have here the first common factor 3 and 3. So we cancel out 3. We also cancel out 2 and 2 here. Another is we also cancel out the x and x here. And also the y and y here. So the remaining factors in the numerator is, so we have here the x. So what remains in the numerator is x over, the denominator is, we have here the 2 and the y. So we have 2y. So our answer, our simplified form for this rational algebraic expression is x over 2y. So this is now our final answer. Next example. Example number 2, we are given x squared minus 1 over x squared plus 2x plus 1. So as you can see in the numerator, x squared minus 1, that involves sum and difference of squares. So we can factor out x squared minus 1 by writing x minus 1 times x plus 1. And the denominator involves perfect square trinomial. So we have x squared plus 2x plus 1. So we can factor this out by writing x plus 1 times x plus 1. I already have a video about factoring, so better watch that video about factoring so that you can relate about this topic. So we have here x plus 1 times x plus 1. These are the factors of this trinomial x squared plus 2x plus 1. After factoring the numerator and denominator, we cancel out common factors in the numerator and denominator. So we have here x plus 1 in the numerator and we have also x plus 1 in the denominator or another x plus 1 in the denominator. So we can cancel out x plus 1 and x plus 1. So what remains here in the numerator is x minus 1 over x plus 1. So this is now our answer. Next, we have 3x minus 12 over 16 minus 4x. So in the numerator, we have a binomial 3x minus 12. So what we need to do in the numerator is just factor out the common monomial factor. Here we have the common monomial factor 3 and 3 in the numerator. So we factor out the 3. What remains inside the parenthesis shall be x minus 4. That means 3 times x is 3x, 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. While in the denominator, we can factor out 16 minus 4x. Again, we use the common monomial factor. The common monomial factor between these two terms is 4. So we factor out 4 times what remains for 16 shall be 4 because 4 times 4 is 16. Then we copy minus. Then what remains for 4x shall be x. So, when we distribute this 4 to the terms inside the parentheses, we can have 4 times 4 is 16, and 4 times negative x is negative 4x. Afterwards, since we have here x minus 4 and 4 minus x, we can cancel this out, but this shall become negative because this is equal to negative 1. So, this is negative 1 multiplied to 3 over 4 here. So, x minus 4 divided by 4 minus x is negative 1. Then we multiply negative 1 to 3 over 4. So, we shall have negative 3 over 4. So, this is now our final answer. So now let us proceed to our next example. So we are given 3x squared plus 3y squared over 6 times x squared plus y squared. Again, as you can see in the numerator, that involves a binomial. We have 3x squared, the first term, and 3y squared as the second term. So what we need to do here is that we just simply factor out the common monomial factor. In this case, we have 3 and 3. So when we factor this out, we factor out the common, which is 3. What remains inside the parentheses shall be x squared plus y squared. That's over. Since we cannot factor out x squared plus y squared anymore, so we just simply copy the denominator, which is 6 times x squared plus y squared. So in this case, as you can see in the numerator, so we have here x squared plus y squared, and we also have another x squared plus y squared in the denominator. So they are the same factors, so we can cancel this out. What remains in the denominator shall be 3 over 6. And 3 over 6 can be reduced to lowest term. We divide both the numerator and denominator by the greatest common factor. So that is 3 divided by 3 is equal to 1 over 6 divided by 3 is 2. So our final answer shall be 1/2. Another example, we have a minus b quantity raised to 2 over a squared minus b squared. Okay? So we have here a minus b quantity squared. So we can factor this out by writing a minus b times a minus b. So our exponent here indicates that we need to multiply the base 2 times. That's why we have here a minus b times a minus b. With the denominator, since a squared minus b squared is under sum and difference of two squares, so we can factor this out by writing a minus b times a plus b. So, cancel out the common factor in the numerator. So we have a minus b and a minus b. So we can cancel this out. So what remains in the numerator shall be a minus b, which is this one, over a plus b, which is this one. Okay, another example. You have 9m over negative 12n. So 9m is a monomial. Also with negative 12n is another monomial. So 9m can be factored out by writing 3 times m over the negative 12 can be written as negative 3 times 2 times 2 times n. Okay? So since this is negative, negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. Negative 6 times 2 is negative 12. We cancel out the 3 and 3. But take note, when we cancel out the 3 here and the 3 here, the negative shall remain because positive divided by negative is negative. So what remains in the numerator shall be 3m. So we have 3m over, we have the negative. So negative 1 times 2 is negative 4. Then we have the n, that is negative 4n. So this is now our final answer. Now let's proceed to our last example. In this case, the last example indicates trinomial. So we factor out quadratic trinomial x squared plus 7x plus 10. This can be factored out by writing x plus 5 times x plus 2. This is quadratic trinomial. Again, if you have difficulty in factoring, I have a separate video about factoring, so you can check that video so that you can relate about this topic. Okay, so the factors of this trinomial x squared plus 7x plus 10 is x plus 5 times x plus 2 over the factors of this trinomial x squared plus 4x plus 4 are x plus 2 times x plus 2. Since this is a perfect square trinomial, so the factors are the same. So we cancel out the common monomial factor in the numerator and denominator. In this case, we have x plus 2 and x plus 2. So what remains in the numerator shall be x plus 5 over x plus 2. So this is now our final answer. So that's it. I hope you have learned something from this video. I still have other videos here. Please click and watch these videos. So for now, thank you and God bless.